To be a president is both an honor and a responsibility with a silver lining. Joke lang.
Wow.
Miss you.
Ayan, may tao pala. So, masarap tumanggap ang isang task kung alam mo na 20 to 30% na lang matatapos na. Kaya naman, ang acceptance ko at na-speech na to ay sasamahan na natin ng farewell speech. No? Total, ilang buwan na lang, tapos na rin ang 2020. So, chill lang kayo dyan at kwekwentuhan ko muna kayo. Umupo muna kayo, sir. Distinguished guests, the Board of Trustees and the Board of Directors, Romans, family, and dear friends, a passionate good morning to all of you. First of all, I would like to thank my fellow Comsofilians for trusting me to lead our organization as president. For this year, Clear Vision 2020, with a strong support of our new team members. This journey will not be a smooth one if I have to walk alone. And I would like to thank the rest of our Board of Trustees who serve as my guiding luminaries. As I stand here before you today, I am indeed honored to be given the opportunity to serve in this capacity. And you have my sincere assurance that I will be dedicated to the advantage of Comsofil, the same way I have demonstrated my commitment over the past few years. Dahil matatapos na nga ang stint ko dito sa Comsofil, at 4 na Fridays na lang, magkapento muna ako. Paano ko ba nakilala ang Comsofil? Paano ako binago ng Comsofil? Saan ako nagsimula at ano yung mga natutunan? My Comsofil journey started in a boring and lethargic Friday afternoon. It was then that Comsofil processed my mind and landed talking to Mr. John Spiel, the 2018 president, whom I first met distributing flyers sa Marbia. Standing 4 hours in the middle of burning and freezing weather was laborious and tedious. But all the power efforts at open-minded Khobar strategies had been paid off once you convince a passerby to enroll at that moment. Reluctant but annoying, but enjoying because I got a lot of funny and ecstatic experiences in terms of distributing flyers. Some said, actually hindi nila kailangan yung flyers, kailangan nila daw ako. Some said, gusto nila akong ihara sa model. So ridiculous, isn't it? From a humble beginning, started distributing of flyers and then became an assistant instructor for MS Office in the year 2018. Eventually, became an instructor for MS Office and elected as Vice President for Education last year. And now, is spearheading Comsofil for the year 2020. It was really a paradigm shift, an ironic turnaround. Dahil akala ko lang dati, nandun lang ako sa isang grupo na nakikigulo at nakikikain dahil walang makain sa bahay as usual at nakikiinom ng walang sawang kape. I never knew what volunteerism means. What I knew before was I was enjoying my time of my life since day one in Comsofil. A happy-go-lucky and easygoing guy and laughed at almost everything. Extrovert, slight craziness, tawa lang ng tawa at masayang kasama. But I never seen myself, even in my shattered dreams, that someday, somehow, I'll be standing in front of you. But along the way, Comsofil became the organization that is next to my heart. Being a volunteer changed me a lot. It changed me to become a better version of myself. I have learned to give back the blessings I received from God. I have learned to help others without expecting in return. Helping to our family in a monthly basis is normal. It is a dime a dozen. But helping other people that are outside our perimeter is a challenging and compelling one. Making a lesson plan instead of sleeping, waking up early on Friday instead of resting, teaching without compensation instead of chatting with your family or going to the church, Mag-overheat na ang sasakyan mo, kakahatid sundo sa mga kapwa mo volunteers. Magkaka-abs na ang kamay mo, kakadot-dot sa cellphone mo all day long and all night long, kakakontak lang sa mga estudyante. Your night will be filled with sleepless nights. Dati, napaka-fresh mong tignan. Ngayon, haggard na. Hindi nga nahalata. These are just few sacrifices of a confident volunteer with a heart. If we had to look in details, those helping hands was very small and tiny. It was just a drop in the bucket. But when you hear positive feedback from the previous students saying, "Thank you sir sa Comsofil, narinig yung ikama ko gamit ng certificate sa Comsofil. Thank you sir, na-absorb ako sa engineering department dahil nagamit ko yung AutoCAD certificate ko. Thank you sir, I was promoted from housekeeping to secretary because of what I have learned from Comsofil." Simple words that makes my heart huge and tremendously inspired, and it cannot match any amount of impeccable feelings from deep within. Maliit man na bagay ang naitutulong ko sa Comsofil, pero pag nakakarinig ka ng positive feedback sa mga students, malaking bagay yun sa my service to the community to give back in some way. The benevolent advocacies of Comsofil to help our fellow kababayans to upgrade their skills through information technology is incomparable. No wonder, for 15 years of untiring existence here in Khobar, for 15 years of sharing knowledge for free for the benefits of OFW, Comsofil remains strong and resilient. With that, it is our honor and responsibility to continue the mission and vision of our great leaders who have sacrificed their blood, sweat, and tears to the bitter end just to reach this far. My fellow volunteers, our time has come. A time where the year speaks clarity and sharpness in the distant future. Just like 2020 eye-clear vision, it expresses normal visual acuity measured by a certain distance. But as we go to a nearer distance, our eye vision starting to blur and obscure. A small cataract of confusion and each member became visible, and the cataract became more contagious when the pandemic and COVID-19 bombarded around the globe, that almost 51 million infected and almost 2 million people dies for it. The cataract locked down the whole vision that turns that vision worst. Visually impaired, blind, and sightless. The inevitable vulnerability is imminent as the light at the end of the tunnel is fading as the classes has been cancelled and the anchor of hope became hopeless. What a devastating challenge it has been. But no matter how hopeless it may seem, through the collaboration of each board of directors, we use our blindness to be our inspiration, to roll up our sleeves and start working for antidote. We use that plague that lands 1,000 prayers and hopes. We use that fear to go outside our backs and start believing in ourselves the promise of assurance. In those tough and trying times, I had seen the genuine resiliency of fighting spirit of every warrior volunteer. As I stand with the burning torch, the blare and hazy vision are becoming clear and vibrant, and the eye cataract is gradually vanishing into thin air. 1,000 flower blooms begin to thrive and flourish as I blaze the trail, and the long and elusive 2020 eye-clear vision turns back again. Isang napakalinaw na umaga at muling sumikat ang haring araw as we pick up the pieces of hope with our plans for this year. As we look at our plans for this year, the following key points and projects we have then identified. Number 1, to double the number of students from the last cluster. Making the number of students double was really a figment, considering a blind eye that we had. But through the intrepid dedication of its scintillating members, it does not only double, but it triples as well. Kudos to our board of directors who push themselves to the limit, most especially to our top marketer and networker of the year, Mr. Ricky Bulala, who made this unbelievable number possible. Congratulations, guys. Secondly, a paperless transaction. We do our fair share to achieve our Go Green, and Save Trees by sending invoices electronically over payment transaction. Once a payment has been made, students will receive their receipt automatically through their WhatsApp. Information retrieval and generated reports made easy in just one click. My gratitude to our programmer instructor in MS Programming, Mr. Samson Songkayawan, who developed the program and made it possible. What an outstanding achievement. At pangatlo, a transition fund. Even we are a non-profit organization, we will be needing a minimal fund to start up. A 500 to 1,000 reals as a transition fund would be fairly enough to cover the expenses like marketing, food, and transportation. And that fund will be given to the next term automatically. Ang nangyayari kasi mag-aabono ka muna. So maganda yung merong transition fund. Ito bigay ko sa'yo for a startup. More projects and laptops and projectors. Sabi nga kanina, hindi kung sino magdodonate dyan. Officers and volunteer instructor, mga volunteer na instructor, they are using their own personal laptops. It could be better if we could provide at least 5 laptops available. We have laptops from the engineering lab, but it's already unusable and outdated. So this is one of our projects for this year. More courses to offer. The more courses to offer, of course, the more students to enroll. With all the efforts combined by our team, there are 4 reopened na buksan muli that was dissolved last cluster such as SketchUp, Windows Server, Cisco, and Web Design. We had also introduced one new course, which is the project management, and we are looking forward to open more courses such as financial literacy and English proficiency. And the last but not the least, coping up the new normal trend. Alam nyo guys, nung nagka-COVID-19, ang akala ko hindi naman tutuloy yung term, yung sa amin, mga board of directors. Kasi lahat naman tayo nagulat. But the deadly virus doesn't prevent Comsofil volunteers and instructors to continue and finish the remaining classes as we take advantage of the internet and make history to conduct training courses via online platform as we have reached the unreachable students as far as the Philippines and outside the Khobar territories, and to hold our significant and momentous 27 commencement exercises last month. The first ever virtual graduation event of Comsofil history. Sumakit talaga ang bangs ko sa virtual graduation na to. Now, my fellow volunteers, talk the talk and it's time to walk the walk. We can do our outline future plans by working together, by being sama-sama, tulong-tulong, as our Comsofil slogan speaks. Introduction lang po yun. May 4 pa pala akong masahin. Before I end up my acceptance and farewell speech, I would like to mention a famous quote by Winston Churchill who said, "We make a living by what we get, but we make a life but what we give." This is who we are, volunteers. We know that the more we give of ourselves, the more we are likely to receive, so that we can continue to make a difference in the lives of others. Comsofil has an impeccable platform where we can deliver our service to community, to humanity. Masarap tumulong sa kapwa na walang halong politika at walang halong pagpupunwari. I will guarantee you that God will continue to bless the works of your hands as you promise that your labor will not be in vain. Sa Comsofil, it is not about looks, kung sino ang gwapo o mas gwapo. It is not about position, kung sino ang nasa taas o kung sino ang nasa baba. It is not about old or new, kung sino na ang naka 10 years o 1 month pa lang. It is about the spirit of volunteerism that is screaming inside your heart and what you can extend to help others with a heart. May the force be with us. God bless everyone. Long live Comsofil.